Hello, how's it going? How are you all? Welcome today to this channel, to this community called Gorilla, which was created simply to connect with you and bring you a technical field in a more playful way. And today we're going to talk about steel cable, its components, and also answer some questions like what a shackle is, what is it used for, what should you not do, how to inspect it. And finally, almost different from Gorilla compared to the rest. So stay tuned to see all the content. How are you all? My name is Sergio Jelincic. As I mentioned earlier, thank you very much for following this channel, and don't forget to hit that bell so you stay subscribed. Today we're going to talk about shackles, as well as some basic information about cables, like answering what they are and what they're used for. A shackle is a loop of cable that has eyes at each end, which is made directly from the wire. What does this mean? This means that the wire goes through a winding process, then the core strand is twisted, and finally, the cable strand is twisted, so that in the end, there is a closure of the cable, which is a shackle or a steel cable. Okay, but what is the strand and what is the core? A strand is referred to as the result of the helical twisting of the wire, when it covers the central core wire, forming layers around it. And this process is known as the construction process. On the other hand, the core is called the nucleus that is covered by several strands. The core is the base of the cable that prevents it from deforming, by applying pressure, keeping equal distances between them. On the other hand, it's also important to understand that there are different types of cores and different types of constructions. What are most common shackles in the market? The truth is, the darkest part of the market is finding constructions of 6 by 19, 6 by 36, 6 by 41, 66 by 41. All right, but how can I really know what I have in front of me? This is very simple. As you can see in front of me, I already have a steel cable here. It has a sample where a ferrule was cut, and you can see the strands. How can you tell when it's 6 times 19, 6 times 41, 6 times 36? 6 strands mean a 6 in 6 by 36. Strands have 36, 19 or 41 wires. Counting wires identifies the cable. The core is steel. Natural fiber shows at the cut. This identifies the cable type. So, when I manage to count the steel wires, or the wire to be more precise, that is in each strand, I can somehow figure out what I have in front of me, and the core is simple. In this case, I have a steel core. Because if it were made of natural fiber, you would see the fiber right at the cut of the cable. And it's a really good way for you to know exactly what kind of cable you have in front of you. As for the finish, you will find both greased and galvanized shackles, and it's a really good way for you to know exactly what kind of cable you have in front of you. As for the finish, you will find both greased and galvanized shackles. Alright, but where can I use a steel shackle? We have to start from the fact that steel cable was born more than 150 years ago. This means that it is a product that can be seen and used in all kinds of industries, from pulp and paper, construction, general industry, agricultural industry, mining, among others. Alright, but what is it that I can't do with this? First, don't drag them. Never place loads on them at any time. Never leave them exposed to the elements for long periods. Don't knot or twist the sling, and never intervene with them, also known as machines. And when loading, don't create jerks or sudden impacts. And lastly, never stand under the load. Regarding usage recommendations, first of all, always purchase a certified product from a competent and well-established organization. This product should always be used by trained and accredited personnel. And lastly, always perform a visual inspection before use. This product should always be used by trained and accredited personnel. And finally, always perform a visual inspection before use. It's always advisable to have the product's certificate on hand, and to ensure that it has been inspected by a competent entity in at least once a year, so that the traceability of the certificate remains valid. Always store shackles in a safe place, free from dust, grease, contaminants, and sunlight exposure. What does the Gorilla product do? Unique and different. Priority. It is certified under the American standard ASME 30.9 and the European standard EN 13414. Number 2. As you can see here in front of me, or better said in front of you, sleeves are conical sleeves, which are certified. And what does this mean? The common denominator of what you will find on the market are shackles, that when pressed, simply use a piece of steel, like a tube, they cut it, and then it's pressed. And what does that generate? First, the sleeve is not installed correctly. Number two, also many shackles in the international market, in fact, do not weave the shackle. Our shackles are woven. After being woven, a sleeve is inserted, which is then pressed following the protocol standards, which consist of 3 steps. Additionally, with Gorilla, you can find steel shackles ranging from 1/4 inch to 3 inches. And we can also make shackles from 1 branch to 4 branches, adding any other accessories like hooks or end protectors. And how does the end protector help you? The thimble will help you to extend and protect the useful path of their eyes. And finally, you can be sure that it exceeds all types of regulations. And the most important thing with Gorilla is that every time you purchase a shackle, whether you buy 10, 20 or more, you won't just get one certificate, you'll receive a number of certificates that corresponds to each unit purchased, since all our labels come with a unique and unrepeatable code, so you can have thorough traceability of each item. How to inspect and how to know when this product is out of stock. Always disinfect the house, the feet, and the label, ensuring that the label has complete traceability. If the label is within the standard, check the head, the feet, and if you notice any type of intervention, like 2 or more wires cut per strand, cable oxidation, excessive abrasion, wear, or when you detect localized wear in an area. Also, when there are broken hooks, broken safety latches, deformation, or when you notice total or partial crushing of the steel cable, or any other visible condition or damage that raises doubts about the safety the product can provide. If you see any of the things mentioned earlier on a cable shackle, it's time to retire that item to protect the stakeholders, whether it's the users or of course the load in question that is going to be lifted. Make sure to protect the operators and also ensure that these elements are used properly. If you see any of the above mentioned things on a cable sling, it is time to decommission that item to protect the interested parties, be it the users as well as obviously the load in question that is going to be hoisted. Make sure to protect the operators and also ensure that these elements are used properly. Thank you very much for staying with us until now. I just want to thank you again and ask you, if you haven't already, to hit that notification bell and subscribe to this channel.